There are many data engineering projects available on YouTube, but nobody is actually talking about how data engineering projects work in a real life. They don't talk about how real-time data pipelines are built, how we face the problem, or how we face the situations in real project. So this is the exact problem that I am going to solve if you want to become a data engineer in 2025. This is going to be the series of 10 data engineering projects that people have actually worked in their own companies. In this series, we will talk about real-time data pipelines, project architecture, tools and technologies used, source systems, targets, then data details, schema, problem they actually face while working in the project, then all the scenario-based interview questions that may get asked around project. So trust me, each episode is going to be a very high quality discussion of 40 to 50 minutes. So hey everyone, my name is Shoma Wadekar. I am a data engineer and a content creator. I will keep uploading such videos that will help you crack the companies you want. And in return, all I'm asking is to hit the subscribe button. You can also join the community of around 34,000 data engineers on my WhatsApp channel. Now let's talk about today's episode. We have two amazing people joining with us. Interviewer is Salik Sheikh. He has around 6 years of experience in data engineering. Interview is Ashwin Kumar Patil. He is working at E&Y, which is one of the big 4 companies, and he is a very good friend of mine. Before E&Y, Ashwin used to work with Accenture for 4 years, and recently he switched the company with around 100% salary hike. When he was switching, he cracked around 5 to 6 companies, and trust me, he used the same project to explain in all of his interviews. So this is the kind of project that Ashwin has worked in his previous company, and you know what is the best part? You can use this project as a reference, build your own version, and talk about it in your interviews too. So without wasting any further time, let's start the interview. Before we move ahead with the video, I just want to take one more minute of you. In data, there are basically 3 kinds of role. One is a data analyst, second one is data engineer, and third one is data scientist. Now, if you are already working as a data engineer or a data analyst and now want to take the big step to move into the data science, then I have something really special for you. This data science placement guarantee course by Internshala trainings is built on 10 solid pillars to help you become job ready. The first one is you get a guaranteed placement with a 40,000 total monthly stipend. The second one is that you don't have to worry about the fee. If you don't get placed within 6 months of completing the course, you will get 100% refund for sure. The third one is that it will be a 6 months online course with the real industry level projects, so that you will learn what actually companies expect from you. Everything will be practical, not just theory. Projects will make you job ready here. The fifth one is that you will receive dual certification, one from Internshala trainings and other one is from NSDC and Skill India. Both are respected by over 180,000 companies. Then you will get full placement support including mock interviews, resume building and soft skills training. Then it will be a beginner friendly. You don't need to have any kind of prior coding knowledge or a data science knowledge to enroll in this course. There will be a live bootcamp at the end to practice all your skills and get you interview ready. The course is completely online with a mix of live sessions, recorded content, and a masterclass. If you miss any kind of session, then you don't have to worry about anything. You will always get the recording. The 10th pillar is that thousands of students have already benefited, and many are now working at Amazon, Flipkart, Deloitte, EY, Infosys, TCS, and more. So if you are someone who is really looking to make a career transition into data science, then this is your chance. You can enroll for this course, and I will attach the link for this course in the description section.
Hey, a very good afternoon, Ashwin.
Good afternoon, Salik.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Salik.
All right. Hope you are well prepared for the interview.
Yes.
All right. So before we start with the interview, can you help me understand your background, your data technologies that you have used? So it would be easier for me to collaborate with.
Yes, Salik. So, Salik, I'm currently working with EY as a senior consultant on a project where we are managing the infrastructure and deployment of a client. And previously, I was working with Accenture for 4 years. And there we have worked on data migration project for a telecom domain client using different services like Composer, BigQuery, Dataflow, Airflow for like migrating their talent reports to GCP. And I have done different certifications like associate cloud engineer and professional data engineer in GCP. I'm currently pursuing my professional cloud architect certificate and looking forward to join your organization.
All right. It seems like you have a good flavor in on-premises as well as cloud technologies, right?
Yes.
So can you help me understand your data migration project that you have done in the past, that is moving your talent data premises onto the over the cloud technology?
So like the client was a telecom domain client, as I said. So he's having like they having the all the records and all the stuffs in CSV and JSON files on their raw layer, and we have to migrate that data from they took us the whole data in the GCS, different GCS bucket, and from there on we have to replicate their talent report, which are running on their on-premise, and creating different types of reports and dashboards for their own purpose on same replica as on GCP. So from there on, we have used data flow as a data migration tool from GCS to BigQuery, and we have different dependencies on different tables. So that's why we have used Airflow for scheduling the data flow jobs, which creating the tables on BigQuery in different layers. From BigQuery, there is a structure which we have to create. Like there are multiple 40 plus reports which we have to create for the client, and we have used different types of update merge statement for that, and we have scheduled that queries in BigQuery only, and created different views to share with the client for their use.
Okay. So, as you mentioned initially, client is
Mhm.
having access to put data into the GCS, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So, can you help me understand how does client having understanding in the technical concept, like he is able to put down the data inside GCS bucket, right? So, does
Yeah.
all the have you guys provided access to all the clients, or it is like just one client that does all the job?
There is a architecture team on client side which are taking care of that process. They are directly putting the raw into different buckets based on the bucket sizes we have provided to them. For the bandwidth data, there is a different bucket. For Wi-Fi router data, there is a different bucket. So they are putting the different files in different buckets, and from there on, we have data flow job taking care of that files.
Okay, so it is a daily job or weekly job or monthly job?
The table creation is daily. So we have to get the incremental data daily on the basis of the file requirements for that date. And from there on, the reports are weekly, monthly, and as per the client requirements.
Makes sense. What is the size of the data?
The data differentiation is like Wi-Fi router data and bandwidth data. So the files are in TBs. There are millions of rows, and data is getting incremental on daily basis for Wi-Fi routers. Like they are storing the bandwidth for a same area which is having 50 plus routers. So there are 50 plus rows creating for one pin code and all. So it is getting incremented in different files, and we are taking care of the TB bytes of data.
Okay, so you mean to say you are getting millions of record incrementally, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so how are you handling this? What is the optimization technique you have put on top of that?
So we are created a partition on our different tables in BigQuery. So for if the data is coming for this day, we are checking for that data for that day only and storing that data into our tables, not the historical data which is stored for like previous week or previous month. And also we are using different clusters based on the regions in which the Wi-Fi routers data is coming from. For Europe region, there is one cluster. For the Asia Pacific region, there is different cluster. So from there, using different partitioning and clustering, we are optimizing the tables and doing the incremental load in the tables.
Got it. So it is like partitioning on the basis of daily. That is
Yeah, yeah,
something that is in place to capture the most recent data,
right, right,
actually duplicates.
right.
Okay, so in any way, has it been done before, like your partition is not correctly captured and you got the duplicate data as well?
So sometimes the file is not getting available from the client side, so the data flow job get failed that time. So it is we have created a email operator in the DAGs which we are created in Airflow. From there on, if any data flow job get failed because of unavailability of any file, so it will trigger a email to the client. So they have to immediately available the file, and then we have to again re-trigger the jobs. So this mechanism we have created for failure X.
Okay, so that means you already have a email mechanism set up. So whenever there is no new data available, then your team would get an email out of that.
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
Okay. So while you setting up the email architecture, right? So
Hmm.
is it like you are first scanning the data, and if it is not available, then only you are trying to hit that email? Or is it something like, no, we haven't got any data. Like how are you reading the data? Is it like
Uh,
you are reading the entire data on account wise, or it is like just file is available or not?
if you see if there is any partition, we can check like in given insert date record table. If the given date is not available, so it will show like rows or zero tables or zero data.
Oh,
So it is not feasible to like run the data flow job for zero rows. So we have created one trigger if the rows count is zero or there is no file available. So it will throw a error which will trigger the email operator, which is we are running using DAGs.
so you mean to say you have two mechanism. One is row count, another one is availability of a file.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So do you think both are necessary?
Like the client is not a technical one, so I think these two things are necessary for our client because sometimes the architect is not able to get available the file and not able to store that file in GCS bucket. So that time we have to use the different condition, which is not file is not available.
Okay, makes sense. So there was a scenario wherein this edge cases could have happened, right? That's why you have
Yeah, yeah,
this mechanism in place. Okay.
right.
So can you also explain me like what kind of data nature it is? It is like structured data, semi-structured data, like how it is going on.
So they are storing different types of data using different forms. Like they have different APIs which directly storing the data into different files and creating CSVs on daily basis. So it is like a semi-structured data which is getting into different buckets. From there on, we are using layer architecture, where we are creating different layers based on like we are segregating CSV in different tables, which is layer one, and after applying different types of motivation like converting the dates into different time constraint, hourly, weekly basis, we are creating layer 2 architecture based on that tables. So that's how we are handling the semi structured data provided by client.
Okay, so when you talk about semi-structured data, so
Yeah.
you have to create any kind of schema mapping on top of that.
We are getting a whole schema in JSONs. So we are like mapping the JSONs with CSV first. Like if any table having same type of same column names and or not, and from there on, like it is a metadata matching thing, and there on we are getting that data into different tables. If any column name is getting changed, so it will show error. That's why we are using the mapping technique for that.
Okay, so and how it is done? I mean, what kind of environment you are using? It is
We are using Apache Beam only for that.
okay.
Yeah.
And any challenges you faced over there?
While creating like from scratch, it was challenging. Like we have to see, we have to map different types of names also. We have to go through the length of the column names also. So it was challenging in first attempt, but after that we have applied the same logic to 40 plus tables.
Okay. And how do you handle the schema evolution? So like there is a new column added and you
Okay.
have to, or let's say there is any existing data that got updated with the new schema. I mean, let's say there was a string data type, but now
Mhm.
later on it got updated to, let's say, any other data type. So how do you handle that?
So in a raw layer, we are creating the table from scratch. Like we are daily on the daily basis, we are like creating the tables, whole tables we are dropping and then creating. So after if any column is getting added, we have to change the layer one. So we have to do it manually, like from client side, if they are adding any different table or different column in a same table. So we have to go through the data flow job and change the whole mapping sheet or the metadata which are getting stored in our tables.
Oh, so there is a manual concept over here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So
it's,
it's
yeah, go
so
ahead.
it's like a monthly basis thing, not a like a daily basis. That's why we have keep it manual.
But don't you think it should be automated as well for convenience?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. But the larger format, it is feasible to do us manually than automating that. That's why we are using that.
But when we talk about manual thing, right, as a
Yeah.
human intervention on manual thing, right,
Hmm.
it could be a possible chance wherein your pipeline would, fail, correct? So
Right. Right.
because of having a small mistake, So
Mm-hmm.
if let's say, if I want you to automate this part, wherein if new data comes up, or if new
Mm-hmm.
tables created, or any existing data got modified, how would you do that in an automated way?
We can handle that using Apache Beam also, or any other like Dataproc also. Like while storing the data, we can create, like we can add up the different alter table names and column names which are not present in the current schema, and do that, run that alternate query which is having the different column names in the Spark job, and get that data into BigQuery. Or we can like any every time we can create and drop the tables when we are refreshing that tables in raw layer. We can do that. And also there are different techniques I'm not able to recall right now. So,
Okay, all right. So I am good with that part. So let's focus on data quality and testing part that you guys have done. Okay.
yeah.
So let's say your data get loaded. Okay, client did load your data into GCS account,
Yeah.
your Apache Beam pipeline, I mean data flow pipeline run on top of
Hmm.
Airflow, and you loaded the data in BigQuery. Now after that, how did you get confident, like, okay, my data is accurate, and how do you apprise the client, okay, I have got the correct data, now you can go with your later approach?
There is one report which we are working on, that like keep inventory clean report, which
Okay.
is keeping check on different data quality standard, like the accuracy, the uniqueness, the consistency of data. So we have like a format check also. Also, we are counting the required IDs which have to populate in every row, having 100% accuracy or not. Also, we are checking for the consistency, like the records which are found in the files are consistent with the records found in the table or not. So different SQL script we are running for that. And also there is a format check if the pin code is like, if you know, for example, the pin code is in 6-digit number.
Okay.
So we are checking for the pin code column as a 6-digit number only. If there are records which are not following that format, we are like using as the garbage record, and giving the client that these types of records are coming with garbage values. So there is one report which we are running on the daily basis for checking the standards, consistency, and accuracy of the data.
Okay, makes sense. So apart from the monitoring that you have, is there
Mhm.
other monitoring tool do you have, or you have created any other alerting tools or mechanism that would help team know, okay, we have some failure in the job, or we have some mismatch in the job? Any custom logs or CloudWatch or Grafana logs?
I have idea about Grafana and all. Like we can get the audit log and job failure logs from that. But here we are only using Airflow for that. Like if any data flow job getting failed, we can check that using email operator which is getting triggered by Airflow, and we can directly go to Airflow UI to see which job is getting failed. Like you can see directly all the DAGs which are running currently, and which are getting failed and which are running.
But that is for the developers, right? Let's
Yeah,
say for business users, they must not be having access to Airflow.
right, right.
Is it only because of email that they get notified?
Yeah, like client is not looking into the technical aspect of GCP. That's why we don't given them any access for these things. And if any things is not getting right into the different files, that's only related to client. So that's why we are giving them email notification for the file failure or file is not available.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, so I am good on the quality side. Let's
Yeah.
move on to the next section that we have, that is security and governance. Okay,
Okay.
so first help me understand, like, who all have had access to your data pipeline?
We are a team of data engineers with one manager working on that. So we have only access of BigQuery layer 0 and layer 1 tables. Layer 2 tables have access to different stakeholders, because there are different views and different materials views and different types of reports are getting created. So layer 0 and layer 1 are only for the data engineers which are working in the backend for developing the reports and the backend logic. And after that, the layer 2 having access to stakeholders for different types of data set, like if you are working on the report generation of any data quality framework, so the stakeholder having the data quality framework data set access only. in layer 2.
Okay.
And we are working on the layer 0, layer 1, so we have access for whole structure of the architecture. So
Makes sense. Okay. So let's say if I want to, as an example, if I am joining
mhm,
a company, okay, and I need
yeah.
access to your BigQuery as well as your Airflow environment, how would you do that?
So like in BigQuery, we provide data viewer access for in some cases, like if you are to see the data from the layer one architecture, you can be provided with data viewer access where you can like run select query on that, not any motivation like you can do any DML or DDL things on that. And for Airflow, it is like the DAGs architecture. We are showing the UI, so you can get the UI access from the Airflow account, but not the DAG access, which are getting stored into GitHub in our GitHub. So
So would you need to put me in a data engineer group or any group that is having access to all the Airflow or let's say GCS bucket? So do you have to put me inside that group or how it is going on?
like if you are working on the backend and all the things with us, so I will provide you access for that group. Uh,
Okay.
Apart from that, we are giving only data viewer access,
Data
not
viewer.
yeah.
Okay, all right. And help me understand, as you say, your data is semi-structured, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking whether do you have any PII data, personal information data or not?
Like we are storing on the basis of the customer numbers, the data for different customers. So sometimes it is a restricted data, but for us like data engineer, it is like kind of exposed to us for creating different reports on that. For other stakeholders, it is not accessible. So they are having different password based on the CSVs and all, but they are providing us a whole data for creating different reports.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are you ensuring that your compliance is there? I mean,
Um,
yeah.
like sometimes we get de-tokenized data, but using different logics, like they provide the tokenization logic in to us, so we can de-tokenize that data. Like the data is coming into, like if there is a name stored, so it is coming like alphanumeric, a random alphanumeric name, and they are providing the de-tokenization logic for that, and using that logic, we are converting that
Okay. So you meant
in,
to say data is coming as a scripted. I mean, there is no raw, there is
in
no
some
raw
tables,
in
in
some
some
table.
tables
Okay.
only.
But then client itself give you a token that you can get the original data back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, okay. So since it is a PII data, right?
Yeah.
Not all must be having access to it. So
Yeah.
can you help me understand like all other developers, including you, will have access
Mhm.
to tokenization that will decode that particular scripted language and you get the original data back. Okay, this is what the PI data is look like. So you
Right,
all
right.
having access or some of the developers will have access to it.
No, we have to raise a ticket for that. Only manager or any
Okay.
uh, the given accessor only can detokenize the data. He will run a script, like there is a logic for A, it is showing three. So we have to give that, like instead of three, use A, and after that the logic is getting converted into a name or something like that.
Makes sense. Okay. Okay. So I think I'm good on security part. So now let's move on to the main aspect that we have, that is deployment and CI/CD, right?
Yeah.
So how did you deploy your pipeline? I mean, it is a manually, it is using CI/CD concept, or it is using tokenization, containerization that we have Docker. How do you do that?
For like deploying, we are using Git repository, development Git repository, where we are storing the data flow jobs templates and Apache Beam, like Apache Beam codes for different tables, and that Apache Beam code having the like the DAGs having the access for, and the DAGs we are storing in different Airflow Git library, where different types of DAGs having dependency and all things we are storing, and directly running that DAGs using Airflow. And the data flow, if we have to change anything in the data flow job or data flow Apache Beam template, we have to go through that Git and have to download that and then change that test that, and after that we have to uh, Git push to that repository. So we are using Git for that, not Docker or Terraform.
Makes sense. So through Git itself, yeah, it is doing all the work.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
our latest changes are reflecting to your infrastructure.
yeah, yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, so I understand everything, whatever you have mentioned, the entire end-to-end uh, project flow that you have mentioned, right? But
Hmm.
I would like to get some written format out of that. I mean, what I would like to know is if I give you a scenario, okay, let's talk
Hmm.
about your project itself. If I giving you that scenario, would you be able to write an architecture diagram? I mean, create a rough diagram, just a brief diagram to help me understand how would you design that. If you can do that for me.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Can I share my screen?
Sure, sure. You can share your screen. You can use any application that you want, either Word or Draw.io, whatever works for you. Just give me a brief diagram of that.
Okay. So like I have written component in Word, which we are using. So the source data is basically into GCS bucket. So this is for the source, and this cloud composer with like Airflow integrated we are using for orchestration and dependency mentioning. The data which are we are getting into different GCS bucket is getting like using data flow template we are getting into GCS.
Okay.
So we are creating different data flow jobs for different tables, and that tables having dependency on different tables. We are mentioning that inside the Airflow DAGs, and these Airflow DAGs triggering the job data flow jobs based on the table availability, the like file availability, and creating different tables inside BigQuery and different process like as I said, layer one, layer two things happening in the BigQuery. We are creating staging process tables inside the BigQuery only using different logic, and from there on we are developing 40 plus reports. We have developed 40 plus reports inside BigQuery only using different merge statement updates and all, and storing that into different materialized views which are directly having access to stakeholders where they can like see the data on the BigQuery console. So this is overall architecture of our project.
Okay. Okay. So it looks like a simple and clean architecture diagram. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So, I mean, can you let me know what were the biggest performance or cost issue you found out of this diagram? I mean, while creating the architecture diagram.
So like in first step, like while like doing a data analysis and data architecture LLD, like low level designing, we have come up with pops up first instead of data flow. But we are not able to do any transformation in PubSub. As you know, PubSub is good with streaming data and all things, and we are getting data into different batches. So that's why we have dropped the idea of using PubSub here and go ahead with data flow. And after that there is different cost optimization things which we have applied in BigQuery. Like if any query which we are running is exceeding 100 GB of data cache, uh, and or any like it is showing 101 GB weight for any query, so it will not run. We are go ahead with only 100 GB of weight for any one single query. So we have used like different types of restriction on the BigQuery, and after that, any reports which is created having different types of columns which are not modifiable. Like if you have any DDL access for any report, so you can't able to do that because some are restricted table which are only useful for client side, not uh, there are no modification or requirement are there. So we have applied that on the some of the materialized views reports.
Okay, makes sense. So PubSub is not the good option. That's right, because it is like a streaming data, right? I mean, it is useful for streaming data.
Streaming data, not batch.
Makes sense. Okay. So how do you think about the scalability?
Uh, I think data flow is capable of scalable. Like we can handle different types of files and different types of things in data flow. And there is one option also using cloud function we can also, but it is also a event driven architecture which we are following into cloud function. And BigQuery, as you know, it is like it can handle petabytes of data easily. So if we are creating numerous tables also, it will handle easily because it is having like parallel processing, all things which will like there are different slots which will be useful for scaling, like getting data in seconds.
Makes sense.
So
Okay, okay. That answers well. Okay, now one of the question while looking at this architecture diagram.
Mm.
So let's say if you had to rebuild this pipeline from scratch, what would you
Okay.
do differently and why?
Uh, I think the bucket, the position of different buckets, it's quite complex right now. So I will like segregate the more modular buckets. Like inside bandwidth, I will add Wi-Fi data supports ticket buckets also. So I will granularly divide the single bucket into different buckets, and from there on directly create the tables into BigQuery for different data sets, having different types of granularity for my own simplification of data. And also the current architecture is quite good, I think, because it cost feasible also, and we are using only four services which are not giving any cost to client also. And we can manage different types of accesses using this architecture. So
Okay, that sounds great. So that is more sounds like you want to categorize your data as soon as it comes. You want to make it simpler for understanding,
yeah,
even in GCS as well as while creating a data set in BigQuery.
right, right.
Okay, okay, that sounds great. Yeah, I think you can share your, I mean, you can stop your screen right now. Okay. I think I am good from my side on the technical aspect. Help me understand if you have any experience in Python, SQL. You must be using SQL because of your data
Yeah.
sets running queries. Okay. Any experience in Python and Spark technology?
Currently we are using Apache Beam and writing the script in Apache Beam in Python only. And for DAGs also we are using Python. So that for that purpose I'm using Python, but I'm currently not working on the Spark framework in my current project. But I'm trying to explore more on Spark. In future, if I get any opportunity, I will definitely do that.
That's great. That's great to hear. Okay. All right. So you are having experience in Python as well as in SQL, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And when you talk about SQL, right? So you
Mm.
must be familiar on the concept of SCDs, right?
Yeah,
SCD.
slowly changing dimension, right?
Correct. Yeah, and since you are dealing with data warehousing, right?
Mhm.
So you must have implemented any of the SCD type. If yes, then what kind of SCD type it was?
SCD, in SCD we are applying only SCD1, getting the data from one framework to another. If there is any change, you have to change the timestamp into date or the required framework into one column into two columns. So we are using SCD1 and storing that data into as a historic, and the incremental data storing as a daily partition in that table only. So we are dealing with SCD1 only here. I'm trying to explore SCD2 on my own basis, but not in my current project.
Okay, that's great. You are willing to learn more.
Yeah,
That's nice to hear. Okay, all right. So let's stop this conversation on the technical part. Let's move on. I will just take few more minutes to understand
hmm
your understanding about different stuffs as well. So I would like to understand, like, if I give you a chance to join my company, so what is your biggest aspiration? I mean, why are you looking for a job change in my company? I mean, why are you looking for a job change, and why do you want to apply for my company?
as you know, currently the whole architecture here is completed and it is in maintenance phase. So I have quite learned many things here from scratch on GCP and all things, and I get to know different things. So I'm trying to explore more things on GCP, which will be aligning with my future goals, and trying to get a company which will be aligning with my current the future goals and the aspiration I'm having. So I think your organization is a great fit for me, and I will try to explore more and give the organization what I can do best for.
That is really great. So you want to explore more, and
Yeah,
in near future, if you get any opportunity wherein we are giving you different scenarios, let's say you are not familiar with the Spark, right? And if we give you a Spark context, then you will definitely eager to learn more about that.
yeah. I think we have to learn in we have to keep learning in different phases of our life. So I think you are developing the PySpark knowledge and all things, which will be better for me to a better data engineer. So I will be hopeful, like I will try my best to do uh, explore more on PySpark if I get any opportunity with your organization.
That's great. Everyone should have this.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. Okay, so I think I'm good from my side, and I would like to conclude from my side here. Do you have any question or follow-up question that you want to ask to me?
Yes, Silik, can you give me any feedback or any thing which I have to improve currently to be a best fit for your company?
Okay, so first of all, you have a very good, strong foundational understanding of whatever is going in your project. I mean, the big data
Right.
concepts that you have. Okay, and the second thing is you have nicely explained the concept of partitioning and how you are handling the fault tolerance, right? I mean,
Right.
so what I wanted to understand is that if there is any failure in the pipeline, how would you approach that? But the way
Right.
that you have mentioned, like you have email notification in place and you have logs already there. So it says that, okay, you have a good understanding of the backend side as well. And as you mentioned, like you are exploring or you would explore Grafana log as well for that
Yeah.
part. So that seems like you are eager, you are having eager to learn more about that concept, and you are not looking at a specific approach, only emailing part, but you are eager to learn more different concepts that we have in terms of monitoring and alerting, right?
Right. Right.
That is a very good point I found. And another thing is that you were able to explain the architecture and use cases, right? Because since it is a semi-structured data, having telecom as a client, and
Yeah.
since your client is providing the data, you were able to explain end to end. So I think that is a very great thing on you. I mean, you have done a very good job in your day-to-day work. Uh, I just want to provide a feedback on one of the thing that I see is that I mean, if you see big data, right? Big data
Yeah.
is solely working on the Spark engine. I mean, when I say Spark engine, because you must be having something to drive your data, right? You
Okay.
cannot just run Python, SQL on top of your big data. But there should be something you must be familiar with Spark, because right now most of the companies are willing to look for candidates who are having experience in PySpark itself or Spark itself. I mean Spark itself, whether you are
Right. Right.
doing it in a Spark, PySpark or Scala, that is a different story. But if you are having experience in Spark, then you are automatically become a good candidate, because that is something that drives big data technologies. So I
Right.
would like to provide a feedback over here is that you must be willing to learn more about the Spark context. I mean, how does Spark work? And since you are having a good knowledge in the optimization as well, so you would look for how many ways we have that we can optimize data in Spark. So that is one of the things that I wanted to highlight. Like Spark is something that I found missing from this interview,
Right.
but that is something you can get a hold on to.
Yes, Alik, I will look into this park and explore more on that.
Yeah.
Thank,
That's great to hear. Yeah.
yeah.
That's all from my side as a feedback to you. Hope you will lean on to that.
Yes, Alik. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for
Thank you.
attending. Have a good day.
Yeah, same to you.